SHAIKH from RV College of Engineering. My project is natural disaster management. So the major problem which I identified post disaster is not the lack of the power but the inability to communicate with the people that matter. Whenever a natural disaster occurs, the people in the prone region doesn't know what to do, how to react and whom to contact. To which I provide a very simple web application which helps the user to do the necessary steps needed post the natural disasters. I have built a web application using Django server, which is running on the port 8000 as of now. Okay. Whenever a natural disaster occurs, the user is asked to report the natural disaster, which he can do by just pressing the button start. By pressing the button start, the user is asked the location where the natural disaster has occurred. With that, I'm also tracking the present location where the user is located. For example, I'm pressing Dharavi as the location where the uh, earthquake has taken place. I just submit the query. On submitting the query, I'm asked a very simple questions about what the natural disaster is. For example, I just enter earthquake as the natural disaster. It can be tsunami, it can be a tornado, it can be a cyclone. But as of now, for example, I'm entering earthquake and a small description about it, like earthquake has struck your location and tentative kilometer the impact of the earthquake. For example, I'm just giving 2 kilometers and I just submit the query. On submitting the query, there are two things which takes place simultaneously. First thing, an SMS is being sent to all the people in the local vicinity of the earthquake that an earthquake has occurred and reached the safest zone as possible. This can be done with the integration with the government services so that the people in the local vicinity can be intimated about the earthquake. As of now, I am using video message servicing app which sends the message to all the people in the local vicinity. As you can see in my message servicing app, a message is being sent. A disaster earthquake has struck your locality. Kindly be careful. Earthquake has occurred in your location. Along with that, I'm also sending the dynamically the nearest help center they can reach from the Google Maps API. That is Lokmanya Tilak Municipal General Hospital, which is nearby to the region where the earthquake has occurred. And all this is dynamic data that is being fetched and no need for the manually searching which location they need to visit. And the second thing which occurs is the person who actually makes an entry about the disaster gets a list of all the epicenter or the help center where he can reach. For example, the major help centers are the police stations and the hospitals, and all this data is being dynamically fetched from the Google Maps API. Here are the list of the hospitals that are nearby to the prone region. Along with this, I also provide a monitoring center for all this epicenters. That is, a person should reach an epicenter where there is an availability. Reaching a center where there is no availability, like for the hospital is already being completely occupied, there is no point of reaching the hospital when it's completely occupied in such a condition. So I provide a graph which shows the how many people are basically admitted into the hospital and how many vacancies are present. The lighter shade shows the vacancy in the hospital and the darker shade shows the how many people are actually present in the hospital. With that, I also provide the number of citizens in the vicinity using the density function of the Google Maps API. Like within 1 kilometer, how many people are there? Within 2 kilometer, how many people are there? Like in 3 kilometer, 9,000 people. In 4 kilometer, there are 16,000 people. So, which gives a tentative idea of how many people are in the prone region. With that, for the hospitals, I provide a portal where they can dynamically update the data about how many people are there in the hospital admitted and how many people and what's the total capacity. For example, if I just input the numbers, how many people are being admitted as of now is like 50 and I update it, the same thing gets updated in the master database. As you can see, the patient counts changed to 58 and the total capacity is 188, so there's still 100 vacancies. And they can also input about how many people are discharged. Like for example, if I click 20, so 20 people are discharged, so which updates the data to 68, that 68 is being occupied. So this is the first part where the reporting of the natural disaster takes place. Coming to the second section is the analysis of the messages that are being sent during the natural disasters, to which I perform a simple clustering of all the messages that are being sent to the during the natural disaster to provide a relevant help or the response. As you can see, the message which I sent was earthquake has struck your location. So the major keywords which were there in the message were struck, earthquake, and the location. As many number of people sent, only the important keywords are being taken out, and a clustering is being performed to find out what is the major buzz, what is the major issue that has occurred in the region, and a relevant response can be provided based on these kind of messages. This is the second part of the application, and this is just for the analysis of the natural disaster. Coming to the third and the most important part of the application, once a person reaches the epicenter where the help can be handed out to him, based on the suggestions which are provided in my first section of the application, the user is asked just to enable the webcam of the laptop, and he just need to take a snapchat at the location. On taking the snapshot at the location, the major role which is played over here is by the Microsoft Azure. I'm using Microsoft Azure Face API to recognize the face and the image, and to store the face dimensions into the Microsoft My Face API service which I'm being deployed on the Microsoft Azure. Once the processing is being done by the Microsoft Azure, I'm asked a very simple questions like what is my name, my age, and my gender, and I just submit the details. So this is being updated in the master database. So coming to the next part of the facial recognition is, whenever a natural disaster occurs, the most worried people are the family member, and they want to know whether their beloved one, their loved one is relieved or not, to which I provide a service called as a search for a person. The family members can search for their dear ones by just inputting the details like name, age, and like the phone number, or the any other image of the person. If the person, by submitting the name, the problem is like there can be many people of the with a similar name, and to find out among the common list is like a time consuming, to which I provide a very simple service such as uploading any image by the family members. For example, I'm uploading a different image, like this is the different image, and as you can see, this image is taken at some other point of time. So I'm using Microsoft Face API to compare the present image with the images present in the master database of the epicenters, and I just submit my the query, like by submitting the image. The people can also search by their name or by their age or the number. So once this is being uploaded, the list of the user which matches the present face has occurred over here. As you can see, at the epicenter I had uploaded my name as KHAMAR, age as 21, and the gender as the male. So if I open the present image over here, as you can see, this was the image which was captured at the epicenter. This image is different from the image which was uploaded by the family member, but I performed a facial comparison to find out whether the help is being handed out to their ward or not. So this gives a sight of relief to the family members that their ward is safe, and he can have a better life in the coming future. So this is the overview of my complete application, where a person can report the natural disaster, get the location of all the epicenter and the help center which are nearby to him by just click of a button, and then for the government there is clustering being performed over the messages that is being sent to provide a relevant response. And then finally the facial recognition, where the Microsoft Azure plays a very important role. That is, first it recognizes the image, the face in the image, and then it stores in the master database at the epicenter. The second part of the facial recognition is whenever the family members want to search whether their ward is being safe or not, they can just upload the image of their person, or they can search by the name, and the Microsoft Azure Face API compares the images present in the epicenter database and the image which is being recently uploaded, and if a match is being found, the list is being displayed over here, and by just clicking on the name of the image you can actually see whether it's the same person or the different, to verify the relief has been handed out or not. So this is my complete application. Thank you.